Good morning. I'm Janine Brown Miller, president of JBM HR Consulting Inc. and HRWebSource.com.
And I'm Lori Miller of Developing Professionals, your training and development SME. Welcome to our HR Tuesday Tips with the Millers. And today we're actually going to be focusing on performance reviews. So take it away, JBM.
Okay. All right. Everybody loves doing performance reviews. I know that. I know. And I'm kidding. So anyway, if you've been with us, we've talked about a lot of compliance and what I would call the basics to a good HR foundation. So we've talked about employee handbooks. We talked about job descriptions that are functional and compliant. So now we need to tie it all together and say, okay, we have those documents. Now, how do we know our people are really doing what we want them to do? And of course, it's through methods of evaluating their performance. And then I know some of you are going to say, are you kidding me? I'm small, I'm busy, I don't have time for this. You need to have time for this. And we will direct you on how you can find time for this. But again, how do you know you're optimizing performance and allowing your business to be the success that it needs to be? It is definitely through evaluating performance. So why do we do this? Why are we going to talk about this today? One is the obvious, ensuring that employees are doing what you're asking, the basics. It monitors level of performance. It monitors expected behaviors. And again, behaviors are a big factor, especially if you're a customer service organization. You need to be sure people are acting in the manner that you require and desire. The other thing, it helps you to retain the best employees. I speak to, especially a lot of the millennials, they want ongoing feedback. They just don't want that once a year. They want you to let them know all along how they're doing. So we really need to understand that. And it's really just to retain the people you want to retain. It makes it easier also when you need to address poor performance or behavior that you don't desire or if you need to terminate someone. You have to have some documentation that you've actually helped them along the way and you've helped them improve at some point. So in all fairness to you and them, because turnover is expensive, you don't want to just keep firing people. You want to really stay on it. Make sure they understand their job description and then understanding how they're doing related to what your expectations are. It helps determine training needs. Sometimes it's just individual training needs that people need. Other times you'll notice maybe all your supervisors need it or your management personnel. It's a foundation of business excellence. I think that goes without saying. It reduces the likelihood of unintentional discrimination in management styles. And that's a very important thing to keep in mind. And I know it sounds like, a big phrase, and it is loaded. But on the other hand, it does help that you make sure people are treating employees in a fair and objective manner. And it should focus on formal performance and behavior expectations. So that's really how I'll sum up what I'm trying to focus on here. So whether you're a small business, again, that one or two people on up, you need to have some method of measuring performance. And it doesn't need to be crazy and formal. We can help you through that. But in any case, make sure you think about it and how you might want to go about evaluating your employees. What are your thoughts on appraisals?
It comes back to, one, we have to make sure we have clear expectations. And we have these performance reviews that helps us solidify what are these clear expectations. So many times organizations, like you indicated, I don't have time, we don't know how to do them. You cannot not invest the time and energy to train, teach, and coach your people on how to have an effective performance review. It doesn't have to be complicated. Performance reviews are an opportunity for a dialogue between the manager and the employee. You have a simple document and it identifies some key elements within your business model. One, skills, we talked about that last time. What are the skills? How you doing in those skill competencies? Behaviors. How you doing on the key behaviors, the values that we're expecting you to uphold? And then also, too, the goals we set forth. How you doing on that? So we have that documentation. We have a dialogue and a conversation with the employee and the manager. And now we're hopefully growing the organization, growing these individuals. But the critical element, you have to train people on how to actually properly use these tools and have an effective conversation.
Exactly.
So they're critical. I know they're not fun, but they're critical. And you know what? When you do them right, your employees will thank you.
Definitely.
So I'm Lori Miller, Training Development SME.
And I'm Janine Brown Miller, your HR go-to person. We'll see you next week.
Relax. We got this.